All right, welcome. We are going to be playing Trophy Dark, The Spiral by Jesse Ross. So this is going to be a game in two parts. We're going to be doing part one this evening to be continued for part two. So we'll see how this goes. But before we totally jump into the game, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. I mean, I know like I've played with everybody except for Robbie, but I mean, like, like at least this way we have an idea of like, what's going on, like, what experiences we've had with this, if at all. So name, pronouns, your experience with Trophy, if any, and what you'd be interested in doing in this game, if you have played it already. Okay, so I'll start. My name is Madeline Colley, Mads for short, she, they pronouns. I have loved Trophy ever since we did the Flocculent Cathedral incursion. After Shadow Society finished its playthrough of the Between for a full season. And my God, this is an amazing game. Playing to lose has never been more fun. And yeah, I mean, I've never run this particular incursion before, so the spiral will be a journey for me as well. So I'm interested to see how this plays out, or excuse me, I'll be enjoying how you all play it out for this game. All right, so let me popcorn it over to Jonn. Oh, you're on mute.
Hi, I'm Jonn, he, him pronouns. I've not played any Trophy. I've played games with, I think, everyone's up a Robbie. I think I may. Okay, and not Agatha. I'm pretty sure I played with Kevin, and I know I played with Mads. So,
Anything in particular you're interested in doing with Trophy, as your first experience?
oh well, first experience. I'm just seeing how it plays out, see how it goes. I don't really have any particular expectations at this point.
That's good, because we're probably going to blow them right out of the water. Go ahead and popcorn it over to someone else.
All right. I will say Robbie.
Hi, I'm Robbie, he, him pronouns. I have played Trophy Dark, I've played Trophy Gold, but it's been a while since I have played them. I did play a game of Cthulhu Dark last weekend, which has some similar DNA with it, and is definitely also a game that you play to lose, so it has that going for it. But yeah, it's been a while. I did take a few minutes right before this session to kind of reacquaint myself a little bit with the rules. And in terms of what I'm looking forward to, some, I guess, dark, bleak stuff, I guess. I mean, I do, leave myself pretty open though as to like where things take us. I definitely like to just kind of play to find out where things will lead.
And play to find out is what we're all here for. So go ahead and popcorn it to somebody else.
Okay, Agatha.
Hi everyone. I'm Agatha. My pronouns are she, her. My experience with Trophy Dark is I was in one of the first playtests of it, and then I was never in a game of it again afterwards. And the first playtest was very fun, but I think I'm pretty sure this version is very different from what I played. So I'm very curious to see like what the difference is. And that's kind of like the main thing that I want. And then also I'm excited to like get into some like body horror, some kind of other horror, grotesque things, which I think is the promise of Trophy Dark in general. So that's what I'm excited to see.
All right. Hopefully it's all about fulfilling some horrific promises. All right. Wonderful. And last but not least, Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin, pronouns he, him. I play and run Trophy Gold and Trophy Dark. I'm currently running Trophy Gold in Eberron, which is a really fun sort of mishmash of the two. I've been in a couple Trophy Dark things that Mats has run, and yeah, as for looking forward to what's going on the next couple weeks, I'd like to try and make a character that's actually like a jerk, because I don't usually do that. I normally play more the tragic type characters, and that's probably something I'm going to continue doing. But maybe we'll see if I can break out of my normal tendencies there.
We'll see. I mean, the things get twisted and turned when you play Trophy. So either version, dark or gold. So I'm excited to see what you all do with this. All right. So, now that we've gotten the player introductions, let's go ahead and do a round of CATS. So CATS stands for concept, aim, tone, and subject matter. This way we have all of the expectations of what we're going to be doing on the table. And if there's any questions or concerns, then this is where we can also kind of touch base on that that stuff, because it will lead into going over our safety tools that will be available. This is a horror game, but we are not out to be traumatic with it. So I'm like, we are going to be playing with safety and consent. All right. So concept. Trophy Dark is a tabletop role-playing game about a group of doomed treasure hunters entering the haunted spaces of the world. The game tells the story of the treasure hunters' physical and mental descent as they move deeper and deeper into the incursion. Their journey ultimately brings them to ancient ruins that hold the treasure they seek and the monstrous entities that dwell there. This is not a hopeful story of brave and daring adventurers that slay dragons and drag bags of gold back to town. This is a horror story of entitled pillagers meeting tragic ends. Our aim. You will play treasure hunters motivated by a near impossible goal, to seek out riches in the forgotten places of the world. You are not heroes, but entitled or desperate pillagers there to secure your wants and needs. The treasure hunters are doomed, and they probably won't achieve their goal. Instead, they are very likely to die by the end of the game, and watching how they go out is part of the fun. Subject matter, tone. The tone of Trophy Dark is desperate and often tragic. You will likely encounter conflict or tension between treasure hunters, where players are encouraged to backstab or betray their companions in pursuit of their goal. Subject matter. This game will be R-rated. Your treasure hunters are risk takers, willing to make dangerous choices. The game will likely be violent, terrifying, and include scenes of bodily horror and loss of self-control. So the gameplay, just so for those not familiar with Trophy, or at least in this particular form, the game is highly collaborative and improvisational. Players have a lot of say over the world itself and can introduce story elements that no one, not even the keeper, was expecting, and play moves between the fiction and the metagame frequently. The game runs best when everyone feels comfortable offering up their ideas. It uses 6-sided dice of 2 colors, light and dark, which we'll be using through our online dice roller to determine the outcome of risky actions. All right. So in the spirit of the gameplay of collaboration, like, we are also going to be having safety tools and consent, of course, on the table for people to use as needed. So the safety tools we will be using will be X card. So you can either make an X with your arms in the video, you can say X in the chat, you can even say X out loud. Whatever it is, we will stop play. We will go for what needs to be X carded. We will not ask why, remove that, and then keep going forward. Okay. And then for, we also have open door. as a safety tool. So for any reason, you don't have to tell us why. Again, you just say open door and like let us know if it's for the scene, for the session, or for the game. I mean, sometimes, you know, what comes up like may not be for you, and that's okay. All right. So again, just say open door, and just let us know like if it is for the scene, the session, or the game. Okay. And again, we will not ask why. And finally, we have lines and veils. A line is something that won't be crossed, and it will not be part of the game at all. All right. A veil is something that may come up in play, be mentioned, but it'll be pretty much fade to black. We won't dwell on the details, basically, of it. I've had the players fill out a safety tab with their lines and veils. So I'm just going to review what we have so far on the table. And this can change at any time. This is a living document. So if there are any additions, I just ask that you tell me about them, like, you know, as it comes up, or, you know, before the session begins. All right. Just asking that nobody change a line into a veil or a veil into an, you know, an ask first. I mean, like, you don't want to downgrade the intensity of it. Okay. So our lines currently are child sexual abuse, harm to pregnant people, pregnancy, homophobia, transphobia, intimate partner violence, racism, sexual assault, sexual violence, and slurs. Okay. And our veils are cannibalism, harm to children, harm to pet domestic animals, human sacrifice, mind control, and slavery. There is an ask first column. So again, it's like, you know, if you're unsure at any time of these things, just go ahead and go metagame and then just ask if this is okay to mention. Confined spaces, claustrophobia, graphic injuries, gore, graphic violence, harm to wild animals, religion, cults. Looks like there's a note, prefer not to use Christian imagery. Don't think that's going to come into play here. And torture. And then, of course, interest, the green category. Interest in body horror, hoarding, insect bugs, manipulation, mannequins, snakes, spiders, stalking and surveillance, and storms. So this should be a very interesting game. And again, if at any point there's any line or veil crossed, including myself, please, please, please call it out. Again, you know, in the chat or like out loud, and just like, you know, let me know so we can, you know, just take a pause on play and then make sure we change it up as needed. Okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get into character creation, where I will pause the video as we get our players, you know, up to speed on what they need to do to create characters for Trophy. And then we will introduce our characters when we come back. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video at the moment. All right, and now we're back, and we're going to introduce the characters in order as seen on the character keeper. So let's go ahead and start with Kevin. Can you introduce us to Serge, please?
Sure, yeah. Serge, pronouns he, they, them, also we and us might be used a couple times. He is a snake, or at least that's his occupation. His background is an uninspired artisan. His drive is to destroy the work of a Gino the debauched painter. And he's coming in with two rituals: statue, touch a creature, object, surface to turn it to stone, and fault, strike the weakest point of an object with phantasmal force. Yeah, that's Serge in a nutshell.
Okay, and with Trophy, we usually play to find out, you know, further about their drive and their background, because we'll usually come into play later on for sure. And then, Robbie, please introduce us to Aram.
I am playing Aram, he, him pronouns. His occupation is a zealot, which is, I think, thinking of that as a profession is kind of interesting. And for the background, I chose failed pilgrim because I thought that kind of worked well with the zealot occupation. Drive is to rebuild Hisham's fountain. And I went with 2 rituals. I think we're all going, we have a lot of rituals on the table in this game. But for my rituals, I chose compel, which forces a creature to perform a non-lethal task, or on the flip side, it can also be used to free a creature from a prior compel. And also I chose the ritual of brimstone, which allows, I guess this means me, to grow scorching hot to the touch. Or maybe I can also make other things grow scorching hot to the touch. We'll have to see how that plays out.
Absolutely. All right. And then we have Agatha. Please introduce us to Loraire.
Loraire pronouns are they, them. Their occupation is a leech. So, they're good at blood and deduction. And then they used to be, and their background is a heretical inquisitor. So they are good at surgery and secrets. Their drive is to finance an expedition into the blossoming sea. And the rituals that they have are sever, which is you can detach or reattach a body part and still control it while removed. And this is, I think, self ? But the wording doesn't limit it. So perhaps we shall see. And then the other one is, of course, drain. Like any good leech, you should know how to remove all water from a creature.
Excellent. And last but not least, Jonn, introduce us to Vero.
Vero is he, him. He is a guide in a runaway Kingsguard. Basically, I see him as the person that's probably leading people through this dangerous area. He has a ritual maze surrounds the surrounding environment, works into a labyrinth with you at the center. So, which is probably a useful skill if you're a guide and you would like to stay alive or get paid more. It's like a taxi driver taking a circular route.
And would you like to introduce Vero's drive?
The drive he has is to find the artifact that proved the king's true nature.
Right. And with everyone as well, it's like to play to find out what these mean. So we will now enter into the game of the spiral. With Trophy Dark, some of the earlier incursions usually started off with some kind of poem. This starts off with a situation. A strange mark has begun appearing on the doors of the homes in Fort Duhrin. A spiral, roughly carved and splashed with ink, first made its appearance on the door of a blacksmith's shop. 4 nights later, a washerwoman found the same mark on her home. 4 nights after that, the governor's inquisitors dragged folks from their beds, demanding answers for the mark found on the governor's wardrobe this eve. The governor has halted all expeditions into the forest of Kaldjur until the perpetrators are apprehended. Information leading to their capture promises a sizable reward. With the forest expedition you had planned now stalled, this reward may be your best chance to make good on your debts. So, as the constellation of the serpent hangs brightly in the sky, we enter Ring 1. You all find yourselves standing outside the home of the governor. And I'm going to put this question forth to our runaway Kingsguard as the most likely person to know one of the inquisitors here. I'm going to say that the inquisitor, known as Marsham, will grant you access to the governor's keep and quarters. Vero. Why are they willing to risk their position for you?
Well, the reason is because in my time as the King's Guard, I learned many of the court's secrets because people talk in front of the King's Guard as if they don't exist, expecting to have ultimate loyalty. However, unfortunately for him, that is not the case. So I'm blackmailing him.
Here's something very important. What might it cost you both if you were discovered here?
Well, it probably most likely it'll, if it doesn't cost a title for them, it's going to cost their life. This surely will cost Vero his life for betraying, for possibly finding something that would betray the king's interests.
But this is the merely the governor of Fort Duhrin at the moment. But you could always trickle down or trickle up. Not sure yet. But yes, Marsham will offer you a way to get into the governor's keep simply because of this blackmail. The governor, or I should say, Marsham doesn't want to be known as possibly one of the perpetrators the governor is looking for. So I think he will lead you fairly straightforward, as if you all belong there, to the governor's quarters. But before that, everyone at the fort has heard rumors that the governor has peculiar tastes. And this is a question for everyone. What rumors have you heard about the governor's peculiar tastes?
I'm sorry, was that for me again?
It's for every one of you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I feel like the governor only likes to eat raw things. Nothing that passes through or above fire.
I think he also likes to have guests over and have meals where he doesn't say they don't know what it is they're eating. Supposed to be part of the mystery.
Trying to decide whether I want to keep going with the food, with the food. I think I've heard also that he likes to drink a kind of strange brew, kind of an intoxicating brew. It's he has like it's kind of like a special thing that is brewed in the palace. It's like somebody that he has that makes it. We think it maybe has like mushrooms as like one of the main ingredients in this, and that it has some type of kind of intoxicating effect that he's enjoys.
I I think he has music played at some room in the house. Even if he's asleep, there is somebody in a distant wing paid to just continue, even if it's just a light string noodling on a harp. But there's always music, an instrument being played somewhere in his keep.
So, knowing these rumors, I think Marsham will show you into the governor's palace keep and work you past the other guards and the other inquisitors who are trying to hassle down some of the staff and the servants here. Upon entering the governor's bedroom, it's finally clear what the governor collects and keeps hidden from all but his inner circle. So when you find yourselves here, what bizarre, profane, and strange collection is piled up into a shrine? And how is it worse than any of the rumors that you've heard?
I think there's iconography for a god that is considered by most to be like, can't think of, debauched is the simplest way to say it. But more than that, it is looks to be made the defiled picture of someone important.
Important to whom? The governor or you, Vero? Think on that while I check in with the others. Bizarre, profane, and strange. What is he collecting here?
I want to say piled up around this shrine or altar are eggshells. And what makes it worse than just like a curiosity and an oddity is there is a green ichor that oozes out of their cracks and breaks, but they are otherwise empty.
Maybe they're also just a lot of flowers. Like some are old, like they're dried out a bit, and some are freshly picked. You can still see the dewdrop on it. But these flowers are known to grow on graves.
Yeah, and I think also there are, I mean, the lighting is provided by what initially maybe seems to be candles. But when you look closely at the candles, Aram gets the distinct impression that these are like fragments of body parts that have somehow, they're coated in something that I guess makes them able to burn like that. And there's also like a strange a kind of graveyard smell that you kind of get in this room, which Aram assumes is coming from these odd candles that are burning.
Right, possibly. I think finding yourself in this room, I believe you all sense something that not takes over you, but just kind of requests or nudges you to take something from this collection. As you're looking at all of these things here, what do you take from the collection and how do you hide it from the others?
Oh, I definitely take one of those like body part candles. I think I just bump into a bunch of them. So they all fall down. And then as I pick them back up, oh, and like put them back, I just kind of like slide one of it. Or like I just hold on to one of them and then like later on put it in my bag.
Oh, I think Vero, now that I remember, I know what it is that who is important to. It would be important to what's left of the king's guards, because very many of them have gone missing. And that whatever that picture, the defiled one, is an image, looks to be an image of like the former captain, who's one of the people who went missing. And so I think what he takes is he sees a signet ring. And I think he gets it by having a lot of bluster and being very, I don't know, very angered by what he's seeing, to kind of draw attention to his harsh words while he reaches and snags the signet ring and slips it into one of his pockets.
I think, you know, Aram, I think Aram will take one of the eggshells, and I think, you know, Aram, in terms of the way he hides it, I mean, I think he's just busy kind of walking around, you know, and so he just kind of moving around, you know, looking over things, I think he just kind of, you know, make sure that his body is blocking the view as he's kind of working his way past, you know, this eggshell that he just kind of swipes. And he's not really being delicate with it. I mean, he just kind of, you know, takes it and pockets it.
I think one of the eggs that's like kind of front and center on the altar is something like a Fabergé egg. So it's jeweled. It's not an actual animal egg, but clearly designed to be a display or ritual, a piece of wealth and importance. And I think the way that Serge gets it, actually, I think Loraire's little distraction with the candles, when they knock the candles over, it's like, oh yes, we'll look over, and but while everybody else is falling prey to that distraction, the Fabergé egg will go missing and wind up in Serge's pouch.
And I think that brings you all to seeing the actual mark that the governor was railing about in his bedroom. Marsham is standing on guard outside of the door to keep anybody from coming into the room necessarily to investigate, while you all do some investigation. And when you see this mark carved roughly into the wardrobe door, all you see at the moment is a spiral, carelessly splashed on with some black ink. However, Aram, you are skilled in rituals, and you know that this particular mark is similar to runes of rituals of summoning and travel. I think you know that rituals of summoning and travel are all derived from a more ancient, powerful rite that could allow near instantaneous travel between any two distant locations. Do you share this information with your companions?
I think Aram kind of shares it. I think what Aram says is, you know, he doesn't touch it, but kind of like he has his finger poised over the spiral, and you can see his finger tracing that spiral. And Aram says, I know this. It is a sign of religious importance, and it indicates travel. It indicates the ability to pass through boundaries. It is at least held by some to be a mark of great power.
What do you make of this
Impressive.
information? Yeah.
I touch it.
Interesting. I'm gonna say this is I'm gonna say this is a risk roll.
Mhm.
Let's see. Let's call it a risk to mind.
Okay.
All right. And for a risk roll, the first light die has to do with having an appropriate skill that you can use for, towards the risk, acting on the risk. What do you think of your skills could you use for this particular action?
Deduction.
Okay, sounds good. And then risk again is to mind, so it's either mind or body, or because you're doing a ritual, so that gets you your dark die. All right, so right now 1 light, 1 dark, and now comes the fun of doing risk roll. First we say, what could go wrong if this risk roll goes badly? So since we're going to take this quite leisurely, I'm going to ask each of you, like, if you have anything, like a suggestion of how it possibly could go wrong if she rolls badly by touching the symbol. Sorry.
They.
Loraire. They, sorry. I will get it, I promise. Yes. So what could go wrong if Loraire touches the mark?
Well, I think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think the easy one is that the whatever's in it is corruptive, and they'll become compelled to start putting spirals on everything.
Add something you wanted to add, Robbie?
Well, yeah, I think Aram has a sense that if this goes badly, since it is a kind of mark of this kind of travel, that Loraire will, always feel like never anchored, right? I mean, it's like that sense that, travel is, having this kind of impact on their mind where they never seem, they're kind of here, but they never feel like they're actually here, that they somehow have become a little bit feeling disembodied or something, that right, that they're not really quite anchored in the world anymore.
We're also making fabulous devil's bargain, which we'll get into later, but does Serge or Vero have any suggestions of how it could go wrong if the
Yeah.
roll goes badly?
Yeah, I mean, travel, this doesn't necessarily need to, this symbol may not necessarily be the starting point, but the end point. So it could be that something travels here because of touching the symbol.
Yeah. Serge?
I said the corruptive influence will make her want to add the spiral to
Okay.
everything.
Okay, got it. All right. So that gets you your second light die. Now, oh, excuse me, no, it doesn't. What gets you your second light die is accepting a devil's bargain. What devil's bargains are usually things that we suggest that are prefaced by no matter what. So regardless of whether the roll goes badly or great, no matter what, a devil's bargain accepted will happen. So For that second light die, let's see. No matter what, when you touch the symbol, you will feel the need to go round. And what that means is you'll feel the need to hug, squeeze, or wrap your body around others.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Well, I mean, do you want to hear anybody else's?
Oh. Oh, right. Everyone can offer
Yeah.
those bargains.
Anybody have a no matter what that they want to offer to Loraire?
That's pretty good. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good, other than, you know, the taking Robbie's
Feeling disembodied.
yeah,
Never feeling
and
anchored.
just making that a devil's bargain.
Two ways to feel. Which one do you want for the no matter what?
I think the first one is really funny to me. So
Okay.
I'm gonna take that one.
Okay. Alrighty. So you're gonna roll on the trophy dice roller. Can't see if anybody else has logged into it.
I have.
Okay, great. Go ahead and do a risk roll, 2 light, 1 dark. And let me see if I
2
see it.
light, 1 dark.
Ah, oof. Okay. So I'm just going to reference what's on the bottom of the player. Oh goodness. So for a risk roll, hold on, let me hover over it. There we go. So yes, what could go wrong? So 1 to 3, you fail and things get worse. GM describes how. Or I can allow you to succeed, but things will get worse somehow. You doke.
I have a question. Can I aid? Can I do an assist?
A help roll. Let's see. Okay. Okay, and you can offer to help after they roll, so that's fine. If they accept your help, you say how you expose yourself to danger and roll 1 light die. The other treasure hunter may include your roll's result when calculating their success, but if your light die's result matches any of the dark die rolled, mark 1 ruin. So you would also take a condition to.
What are the odds you get a 2?
Why are you
Higher
asking
now.
that right off the?
I think you should do it. I think you should go for it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
There's no way the dice roller would give you a
Oh my
4th 2 in a
gosh.
row.
Oh man, let's dig
Oh
that
my
hole.
gosh. Yeah. So roll a help roll.
Yeah, because I think this is something that Aram can help, right? He knows the rituals. He knows what this sign is.
Right.
I think that you know when Loraire touches this, I think you know I think Aram maybe even like whispers the name of like some entity that's involved with this ritual, right? Yeah, so I will do that. So can you talk me through how to roll here?
Okay.
I'm going to go to help.
Yes, you're going to go to help, and it should ask you to roll, just roll. It should be
Okay.
yeah.
Should I see the word help? Because all I see are the dice rolls and nothing else.
Oh, did you press the button that says rolls in the upper right hand corner of it?
Oh, okay. I thought that would actually roll. Okay.
No. That gives you all the rolls that are possible, but except some of them are gold related. So I will tell you which dice to roll. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So first off, like, would Loraire accept help from Aram?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I respect Aram's expertise.
Fine. Okay, great. So then now you will say, Aram, how you expose yourself to danger and then roll the light die.
Well, I'm exposing myself to danger because I whisper the name of a being that I know is kind of involved with this ritual that kind of aids with the travel, and I know that this is dangerous magic that we're playing with here, but because Aram feels like he at least is in the know that he should kind of step up here, though, and even though it is a dangerous game, he's feeling he needs to help Loraire, who's I think has no idea what it is that they're playing with here.
Right. Okay. All righty. 4. All right. So nope, does not match the dark die. So their ruin does not go up. All right. So let's see.
Darn.
Okay. So yes, this will be. So you do not. You wanted to see the ruin. I know. So it looks like you don't add any ruin unless it actually matches the dark die rolled.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say that would count as your for success.
Yes, I have a
okay.
mixed success now.
Right. Yes. But you still take the condition. This would be a condition.
Okay.
Where you would, let me see, how do we describe this?
Snack curse.
What is snack curse?
That's what Jonn said in the Zoom chat.
I don't even know what that means. Okay.
I want to wrap around.
Yes. Okay. Is that is that what's called these days? I don't even know.
It is in this world, I guess.
Huggy?
Oh my god.
Am I huggy?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So yes, you can, if you want. Oh god. Usually I come up with like some pretty good names, but I have no idea at the moment. I just know that this is your condition because no matter what, this was gonna happen. Holy shit. All right. Whew. Sorry. 4 to 5 succeed. Okay, complication. So definitely this is like, one of the complications that happen. But I'm also going to say that I think when you touch the symbol, I think you'll see, and Aram whispers the name of the entity. I think from behind the wardrobe door, you're going to see like a bit of a tiny glow, like underneath the framework of the door itself. And then from the door, it opens a tiny bit, and from the door drops a rat that looks like it's stumbling across the floor as it drops instead of just jumping down, and it's leaving a spotty trail of blood behind it. And you notice that like the pattern that it's weaving in as it's leaving the door resembles the mark itself. It's kind of going in a very straggly spiral.
Wait, okay, so can you remind me of the first part that happens? How does this rat
Yeah, when you touch the symbol on the wardrobe door, there's a glow that you can see from underneath the door frame, and the door slightly opens and the rat drops out, like, trailing some blood as
Okay.
it's kind of making like a weird spiraling pattern as it's leaving.
Okay.
But
And
go ahead.
did you want to give me a cool word for the condition?
Yes, I want to give you a cool word. I just haven't thought of the cool word just yet. And we need to be taking our first break. So maybe taking a 10-minute break will jog my memory on how to create a cool condition for this particular cool name for this particular condition. So let's take 10. We'll come back at the 54 mark. And yeah. All right. So yeah, refresh beverages, bio break, all that stuff. See you in 10. So I think, Loraire, as you touch this symbol and you see the rat stagger away, crawl away, and create more of the spiral pattern on the floor with their blood, I think you gain the feeling of wanting to hug, squeeze, and wrap your body around others. Take the condition sinuous embrace.
Yeah,
What is it?
I'm looking at this rat and I immediately start hugging Aram, who's the closest to me.
Right. Aram, what do you think of this?
Oh, well, I mean, Vero's grip has tightened on the dagger as soon as they reached for it, but seeing this is like, I think is just more like, what are you doing? Perplexed, like stunned into like, what are you doing?
Wait, I'm not hugging Vero. I'm hugging Aram though.
I know. And I see the rat being hugged. And I'm like, what are
No.
you doing?
Not the rat. She's Loraire is hugging Aram. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Aram.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the rat. Is that
Okay, I
what you were
wasn't
thinking?
sure I heard rat.
Okay.
Oh.
I was like, wait,
okay.
why are we uncomfortable with this?
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Now
Got
I
it.
get
Okay.
it. If I was hugging that rat,
Yes, for definite
understandable.
sure. Then I'd be like,
Okay.
everybody gets to ruin. Like everybody has to roll those.
All right, so okay, me mishearing.
Okay.
No. Yeah,
Okay.
Ram.
All right. So yeah. So
I'm just confused. Why? I'm still. What are you doing? It's just less
less uncomfortable.
right.
When it starts to become a little apparent that this rat is making this symbol again, or in the process of, we do have an ask first on the safety tab for harm to wild animals. So
Okay.
I just want to check with everybody. Is it cool if I dispatch of this rat? Because if so, I'm gonna try and put it out of its misery. It seems already wounded. And I don't want it completing the symbol because it seems very
I don't have
bad.
any objection.
Cool.
Everybody okay?
Then yeah, I don't need to go into detail. I'm just gonna try and end it.
Oh yeah. Right.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm not gonna make you roll any risk for that. So
Okay.
I mean, just wanting to put it out of its misery. But I am going to ask Aram, as Loraire is giving you this, I guess, worried hug, or just like kind of like, oh my, whatever. Just curious, like, what are you thinking? For one, because I mean, like you called upon or you whispered the entity's name, and so that could have something to do with it too. But knowing what you know about this ritual that this is tied into, how do you think you might be rewarded if you figured out how to perform this ritual yourself?
Well, I think that what crosses Aram's mind is that with the ability to transport myself magically over great distances safely, you know, this, you know, rebuilding. I'm thinking about rebuilding Hasham's fountain, and right, to kind of be able to retrieve the exotic stones that are required to rebuild that fountain. It would be within my grasp to be able to do that.
Nice.
And I think Aram also now thinks that Loraire is maybe going to be key in being able to maybe fully perform this ritual, because Loraire has touched the sign and is now been touched by the power.
Serge, after dispatching this poor rat, what else do you do here?
The door is now cracked open, and we've kind of pillaged this room. We're trying to figure out the origin of the spiral. This door, is it the one we came in, or is it going deeper into the keep?
This door is actually the door to the wardrobe.
Oh, then let's take a peek-sees inside and see if there's anything else other than a thing that distributes rats.
Okay.
Right.
Before we take a peek into the wardrobe door, I want to ask Vero, you want to find the artifact that proves the king's true nature. I mean, obviously the trips into the forest of Caldor has been stalled because of this quest to find these dastardly perpetrators who have put this sign and symbol dared to do so in the governor's keep. How do you think you'll be rewarded towards your drive doing this for the governor?
I believe I'm going to possibly get like a purse of gold, but that isn't why I'm here. I'm hoping to find something here that will be a reward. So the purse of gold is nice, but that is not truly why I came here.
Do you think you'll find the artifact here?
Or at least a clue to where the artifact is.
And Loraire, you want to finance an expedition into the Blossoming Sea? Do you think this is your stepping stone into, well, since you can't explore the Caldor, do you think this is your stepping stone into being able to do so?
Yeah. I mean, I also took a body part, and if all else fails, at the very least I can blackmail the mayor. But this is also, yes.
Excellent. And your drive is a bit strange too, Serge. Why do you want to destroy the work of Agino?
Because while Agino is named as a debauched painter, he has done some sculpture work, or rather, I should clarify, there is some sculpture work attributed to Agino. I don't know how he successfully pulled it off, but he has a Medusa, a Gorgon, working for him, or did at a certain point. And they're very dear to me. It was my mother's work, actually. And I need to destroy those pieces because it's the only way to protect her reputation and get revenge for the wrongs that have been done to her. I think she made those works under duress.
How do you think doing this hunt for the perpetrators going to help you? Is this to find Agino or to fund the hunt for Agino?
Well, at least for in terms of like the governor's mansion, I think there's a possibility that one of the statues is here. So kind of an excuse to explore that, but also if we need something a little bit more more nebulous than that, then yes, I think maybe there's a tit for tat doing this work for the governor. If he doesn't have one of the sculptures himself, then he's might know the location to one of them and has agreed to give it to me if I can, instead of asking for like traditional payout for this. I know he's got connections. I know he's been to Amberay. I know he goes to all of those fancy soirees, and I know he's encountered one of those sculptures and can point me in the direction of one of them that needs to be chiseled.
Gotcha. So ends ring 1. We move into ring 2 as you peer into the wardrobe. Is it just Serge that does this, or do you all go after the poor rat is dispatched? Do you all look inside the wardrobe?
Vero will make the effort to be one of the first to look at anything if he can, because he's afraid that someone will find the thing he's looking for before him. He'll try to be nonchalant about it, but he's desperate for it. Someone might notice that.
Aram, Loraire, are you also looking?
I think Aram is not necessarily going to look. I mean, I think Aram feels like, oh, these people I'm with have no idea what is, what kinds of powers might be kind of lurking, right? A door that has the spiral and then you're opening the door and going on the other side. So he's not necessarily going to look. He's off to the side, but he's going to be there just in case his assistance is needed.
Gotcha. And Loraire.
I won't. It seems like Aram is very amenable to being hugged, and I can't shake this feeling. So if Aram is not going there, I'm like, I'll stick with what's happening. I feel like Loraire right now is actually really focused on fighting the urge to climb onto Aram's back, and
Okay.
it's just like focused,
Got it.
distracted.
Got it. Okay. All right. It is a compulsion for sure. I think when Vero and Serge look inside the wardrobe, it is a usual wardrobe. It goes, a little bit taller than person's height, and it is a rectangular box meant to hold clothing and shoes, possibly, and possibly a mirror on the other side of the door. But it has none of those things. This wardrobe against the wall reveals a hallway and a short staircase leading up to a door, which is ajar. So you've opened up the wardrobe, and what you see is a small little hallway that leads up to a short staircase, leading up to a door, slightly ajar at the other end.
If I look at the others and see any, I don't know. If Serge, are you hesitant at all in going in?
Hesitant, but he's not gonna stop. He's warily, gonna push forward.
Is there light in there?
In the hallway?
Yes.
Not really. It's like whatever's drifting in from the candlelight in the governor's bedroom at the moment.
Okay. Well, Vero is going to seek the less heretical source of light. Like something from a sconce, or maybe a torch from a sconce or whatever, or a candle that's made out of wax.
Gotcha. Okay. There are those here for sure. And I think as you reach for them, I think Marsham is going to come back into the room and say, "Mate, you got to get out of here. I don't know what you're doing, but you got to get out of here right now, because the rest of the Inquisitors are coming back to take a look at the mark again before they go traipsing around dragging somebody else from their beds. Come on, go. Get out." What do you guys do?
Well,
You all hear Marsham say this.
I'm an inquisitor as well. I mean, am I heretical? Yes, but I don't know if I necessarily made my views public. So, who is in charge this time?
This is your complication. It's like you're either going to be chased out or you're going to be drawn further in. It's old Colbert. He's a bit more fresh on the dock for this, and so he wants to get this case solved sooner rather than later.
Oh, well. Question. Should I roll to like establish if I have a relationship in some way to this, or is this like not the direction that you want us to go in also? Question mark.
I mean, like, I'm not going to have you roll because it's not risky, but I mean, I'm saying your choices, like meta, is that you're either going further into the wardrobe, or you're going to be sent away, or deterred. This is your complication from your previous role, that you're going to be interrupted.
Yes, I think we need you to stall them. We only need a few more minutes to investigate this hallway.
All right, fine. Wait, hallway? What?
He can't. Oh, he is in the room. He can't.
No,
see
he's right outside the room. He's like leaning in to let you know what's happening.
Okay, I thought he was in the room with us.
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, we need a moment. We think we found something. If you just buy us a few minutes, we'll be gone.
We just need names. We just need names of who's doing this idiot thing. All right, fine. And then he closes the door behind him real quick. Unless Loraire or Aram, you want to do something.
No, I think Aram is happy to have a few extra moments in here to, yeah.
Loraire?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if it seems like we can get more time, then Loraire is happy to like not go and like have this conversation yet.
Alrighty. So yeah, he'll close the door, and yeah, you hear him head down the hall towards, like, more voices that might be coming down. But you only have a few seconds to figure out what you're exactly doing.
Right.
So
Vero bars the door after he hears his steps retreat off,
sure.
and
Okay.
we need to hurry. He'll just head towards the chifforobe. I mean, not chifforobe. That wouldn't do it. The wardrobe.
Right. Okay. Yeah, from what you can see, like, the hallway seems to lengthen as you look down into it further, especially when you bring like a regular sconce candle in, or sconce torch in.
And I guess our Aram would be asking, what is so damn interesting about that wardrobe?
Yeah,
You
remember,
know.
they're not looking in. So Aram and Loraire are not looking in the wardrobe right now, seeing what you're seeing.
Oh, okay. I figured taking a torch and walking back towards the wardrobe would either get some sort of reaction. But I guess.
Are you planning? Are you planning to burn the clothes in there?
No, come look. There seems to be a passage back here. Step
Oh.
in to demonstrate.
All right. Loraire will detach briefly from Aram and go and link arms with Vero. to take a look.
Okay.
Vero
But
will
when you
have a-
do that, though, you will see the same thing that Vero sees, like, especially by torchlight. You'll be able to see that that there's a hallway that stretches down towards a short staircase leading up to a door that is slightly ajar, and the door is starting to close. You can hear the creaking of the door.
I'm gonna
Down the
rush
hallway.
forward and try and either keep it open or open it.
Yep. So, do you all go?
I think Aram, if he sees everybody else kind of heading in, Aram will certainly follow in behind everybody.
So give me an order. So who's going first, second, third, fourth?
Vero is pressed for time, so I guess he's first because he's also holding the torch.
Mm-hmm. Is Loraire
Loraire
attached?
Yes. I mean, if Vero doesn't shake Loraire off, then Loraire is like attached to Vero in one arm and will reach back.
We're gonna be locked arms going down this hallway.
Yes. No explanations, just linking arms.
Vero is just like, I know that this was unnerving. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Because he just sees it as that this is a reaction.
Yeah,
to being
sure.
And Loraire is like, yes. But it is strange. And like not quite understanding like what Vero is saying. But like yeah.
Serge, are you in the middle of this somewhere, or are you trailing behind?
I guess I'm trailing behind. If Vero can make it to the door before me.
Well, I thought Serge was going to be in front, but because I had to go get a torch and everything. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you'd be like ahead of us, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so like Serge, then Vero, then Loraire, then Aram.
Yes.
Sounds right.
Good. Sounds right. Because as you're making your way down this hallway, Serge first, and then everybody following behind, the hallway starts to almost ripple like a slithering serpent. It ripples from one end to the other, briefly smells of bile, the air stinging your eyes and throat. And you can see, Serge, that the door is starting to close at the top of these stairs. You can get to it. You can keep it open. And I believe when you make it open, or when you make it to the door and make your way to keep it open, you will look into what looks like a blacksmith's shop. Everyone, please roll ruin.
There we go. Let's go.
Okay. So,
Yes.
I'm missing Aram's roll because it's okay. There you go. Just want to make sure. All right. So if your ruin roll, oh my God, it's more than your current ruin, your ruin goes up by 1.
If it's the same as the ruin,
If only if it's less, than. Like
okay.
if your current ruin is less than your roll, then it goes up. But if it's the same, it should be fine. Should be okay. Yeah. Okay. Everybody's ruin went up except for like Aram's. Okay. What do you make of this? As you all see, the blacksmith shop at the end of this winding hallway, this undulating hallway. I mean, Aram, you seem to be fine because how do you explain like keeping it together?
Well, I think Aram is keeping it together because he mainly, I mean, he knows, right? He has the sense that the others are getting in over their heads, and so he's just like focusing on watching them more than like zeroing in on the fact that this is a blacksmith shop now. At the end of it, it's just like, okay, I'm just going to study my companions and the changes that is taking over them, and I'm going to try to hold myself a little detached from all this, and just I'm going to be like studying them and their reactions. You're muted.
All right. So how does everybody else feel seeing this very strange and miraculous sight
I think
through the wardrobe?
First thing that
Continue.
I think the first thing Vero does is look to see if there's any sort of trail being left on the ground from walking through that very disturbing tunnel. So maybe someone's passed through here.
Don't think you spot any, well, Are you going to go back into the tunnel? Or are you going to just see, like, for where you are now in the blacksmith shop?
Well, I guess for me, I'm looking to see has this either someone's been through here recently, or no one's been through here in a very long time. That sort of is what I'm looking for.
Mhm.
Specifically any trail leading from that door to anywhere else in the blacksmithing, or even out to the exit, just looking for anything, signs that people have been here.
Not through the hallway necessarily, because again, it's like it's a hallway that seems to be almost alive. But when you actually get to the blacksmith shop yourselves, you will see that there are King's Guards here.
I'll ask the question, are they alive?
They are alive, but they seem to be, from where your position is by this door, you see that they seem to be overwhelmed in a few minutes. Like every time they move around and change their position, they are overwhelmed by some sort of smell. You can just like see them wrinkling their noses, or some kind of like reaction that just indicates that they can't get any closer. Like maybe their backs are to it or something like that, but they can't get near your position, basically. And it's almost like they're rotating more frequently than you've ever seen King's Guards rotate before.
And they don't see us?
Not yet. I'm going to say like your position by this door is kind of behind, like, I don't know how blacksmith shop is necessarily
no,
set
I
up,
get
but
you.
yeah, but behind, like, some obstacles, like maybe some anvils and some equipment. So, but you can
Oh,
see
well,
that they're trying to keep watch, but they just keep having to change positions because they can't stay there for very long.
well, I immediately smother the torch so that they don't notice us, and whisper, Kingsguard, why would they be here? Sounding a little nervous, but I suppose smothering a torch and saying that kind of gives that away.
Do we see that symbol on the door that we come out of into the blacksmith shop?
You actually don't.
Interesting. So it's like a one-way situation, maybe.
You still see, like, if you're looking behind you, you'll see that the door that you came in from the wardrobe is still there, but it's closed now. And you start to notice, like, as you're staying here, like in the hallway, or like, by the door at the blacksmith shop, leading into the blacksmith shop, you start noticing that odor that the King's Guards are responding to, are starting to get into your nostrils. Noxious, acrid, possibly poisonous. How do you keep yourselves from being attacked by this poisonous air?
I think I'm probably going to pull a rag out, take out a water skin, pour it on that, and kind of you hold that over my face to breathe. And I'll offer the water skin if anyone else needs like something to try to soak a rag with.
Is it specifically a smell that is like, or is it, I know that I'm breathing in something that is affecting my body.
It is a smell. And you get this idea that if you stay for too long in this place that is, permeated with it, it could affect you even further. How? You're not sure yet.
Okay. What if I detached my nose?
Interesting. Well, it will definitely prevent you from being attacked by the air.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna
So you want to
do
use your
that.
ritual?
Yes.
Okay. This is a risk roll. So
Okay.
you have a skill for this for your first light die. Surgery.
Yes.
You're taking a dark die for doing the ritual sever. And let's see, what could go wrong? What could go wrong if the roll goes badly? Everybody can contribute to this. What could go wrong in doing the sever ritual?
Well, the nose has to go somewhere. And we don't know where the smell is actually coming from. So possibly in the process of removing the nose may catch a extra whiff of whatever it is.
I think one thing that comes to my mind is what could go wrong is that the first half of this goes well, but when it comes time to reattaching the nose, it doesn't, it clearly is off when it, if you're hoping to reattach the nose, people will look and say, right, that it's kind of off kilter.
So reattachment will go badly.
I was thinking something along similar lines, that like the reattachment leaves a very obvious scar or indication that magic had happened there.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that when if it goes badly, basically that I think your nose will change into something else because it's still affected by the air being eventually poisonous. So to get the second light die, I open it up to Devil's Bargains. No matter what will happen, no matter how Loraire rolls, no matter what.
Well, you lose your sense of smell for a while, which could be bad since we're dealing with fumes.
I think no matter what, you still manage to get the whiff of this air, and it is affecting you adversely where you're going to have something happen to your body. Yeah, I think a bit of body horror. I just have to figure out which one. Yeah. So no matter what, you got a whiff of the poison air, something affects your body.
So how Devil's Bargain works, do I get to choose which Devil's Bargain
Mhm.
I would rather
You
have?
get to, yes, you get to choose which devil's bargain you'd like to have.
Okay. In that case, I would.
Did anybody else have
unless-
any devil's bargains?
Yeah.
So it's either lose sense of smell or body horror at the moment. Anybody else? No?
Okay.
Okay.
In that case, I would definitely go with lose my sense of smell, because
Okay.
the reason why I'm detaching my nose is to stop smelling. So it would kind of like defeat the purpose of severing my nose if it would still do the same thing anyway, I guess.
Right. Sure. Okay, so again, we'll go risk roll, and it's 2 light, 1 dark for your ritual.
Okay.
Okay, so for all intents and purposes, when you have light and dark rolling the same, then dark die is higher. So if this is higher than your ruin goes up by 1. You already added it? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I rolled a 6. So
Yep. Okay. Well, you succeed. You have severed your nose from your face, so you are not smelling the poisonous air anymore. But I think when you go to reattach, you'll find that you cannot smell anything anymore. But what this means, go ahead.
I also immediately can't smell anymore. Because like,
Right.
oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, I just wanted to point out your ruin is now 5. Completely lost is 6. But what this means is now that you've reached ruin 5, you now have the option to do what's known as a reduction roll. And how reduction rolls work is that you can perform a reduction roll by acting in the forest's interests, destroying treasure, betraying or sabotaging your fellow treasure hunters, or interfering with rituals. Take your pick. You should try to be subtle in your actions so as not to draw attention to yourself. And each time you act according to the forest wishes, you will roll 1 light die. So in this case, to do the reduction roll, you would just hit the roll button for reduction. And then depending on if it is above or below your ruin, it will show whether your fellow treasure hunters recognize what you're doing. But you just have to say how you are acting in the forest's interests first. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So the way that I went about conducting the sever ritual
Mhm.
is I smell it, and I'm like, oh, this needs to be fixed, and I like take out like a scalpel and just like, it's like I've done this quite a few times, and just like it looks very strange in real life, because it looks like, well, I mean, if we're to think about it, it looks like just like removing a nose from like a wax figure or something. It's like very smooth process, but it's also like a literal person's nose, and there's no blood or anything. And then and then maybe I throw the nose into the the smithy.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
Or
let
I don't know.
well, I mean, like, okay, so
You throw it out a window, maybe.
I can hold on to my nose.
I mean, you
well.
can throw it out a window, maybe where the noxious fumes aren't at.
But are we in this like hallway though?
as far as I understand it, you guys are still in the hallway. Do you go into
Yeah.
the blacksmith shop, or do you try to retreat back to the governor's place?
Oh no, okay, sorry. When I was I think Vero would have smothered the torch and went in,
Okay.
That's why that was why he soaked the rag to cover his face, because he planned on going in. So
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, then I would have been in the smithy as well, since we were linked by arms,
Okay.
which I had to unlink, unfortunately, to
Right,
remove
too.
my nose.
Yeah, but I think you felt that was a little bit more immediate than like, being clingy. Serge, Aram, you going into the shop? Or you retreating back to the governor's?
We can't really retreat back to the governors. The inquisitors are definitely going to be there.
Okay.
So I think we have to push forward. At least Serge does.
Now, mind you, when you go forward, you don't see a mark on the door on the hallway side. But if you do go into the blacksmith shop, you do notice that there is a mark on the blacksmith's side. So you would
we
just
are gonna search for some fresh air. However,
yes.
Is there any other exit than like what the King's Guard are guarding?
Think you will be able to see that the King's Guard are actually, like, as they're keeping watch on the one place, or trying to anyway, trying to get away from the smell. What they are also doing is that they are trying to remove as quickly as possible some objects from this location.
Well, if Vero sees objects, and any of them look like they could potentially be what he is seeking, he is going to perform his own ritual, his maze ritual.
Mm.
So as soon as the guards go out, and if there's any moment when they're all outside of the blacksmith, he's going to perform the ritual to create a maze so that they can't find their way back in.
Okay. All right. So warps into a labyrinth with you at the center. Let me just address this thing for Loraire first. Loraire,
Okay,
whenever
sorry.
no, that's wrong. Whenever you want to do a reduction roll to try and lower your ruin, you just have to say like how you're acting in the forest interest, and then roll for reduction. Okay. With Vero trying to do maze, again, it would be rolling a risk roll because you're doing a ritual. So dark die for that. Light die for one of your skills towards this. Paths looks appropriate for this, for creating the maze.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talk about how it could go wrong first.
Okay, so if I'm doing a ritual, this would be a roll or a risk?
Yes, this would be a risk roll. So we're building the die right now. Light die for the paths, the skill of paths, dark die for the rituals, and then we talk about first, like, how it could go wrong. I think that because of the poisonous air, I mean, again, I think you're going to create the maze where, I mean, if it goes wrong, then I think you're going to create the maze around you that is going to keep some of these Kingsguard in with you, and you may recognize one of them.
Okay.
Somebody from your past. That's a possibility for going wrong. Anybody else have anything? If it could go wrong?
if
Wait.
the roll goes wrong, I think the poison gas is in here with him. He's just made it harder to get out of it. He's breathing through a rag, but that's only going to keep out so much for so long.
I was thinking that if it goes wrong, that Vero himself is going to be impacted by the maze. It's not just going to be the guards who are confused, but Vero, will find that the maze has impacted him as well.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that as well, where the maze becomes like uncontrollable for Vero or not predictable. So it goes in directions that are unexpected. Perhaps spiraling.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what go wrong. Now we offer for no matter what's our devil's bargain. We would each offer one up, or whomever wants to offer up a devil's bargain, and you would pick from those choices. No matter what, no matter how Vero rolls, what will happen? And accepting a devil's bargain means that you get a second light die. However, I should also mention that you do not have to accept any devil's bargains if you don't want to.
Okay.
Just in case like there's any devil's bargains, you're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, whatever.
Okay.
So
just
you
to
do
make
have that
sure,
option.
I have a black die because I'm doing a ritual, and I have a
Yep.
white die because I have a skill. And then if I have a devil's bargain, I will have a second white die.
Correct. All right.
Okay.
So let's see. Let's roll out some devil's bargains. What will happen no matter what? Doing the maze. Yeah, I'm just going to go with my tried and true thing. I think like by creating the maze, you're going to be entrapping a few of the Kingsguard in with you, and you're going to know at least one of them.
Okay. So if I take the devil's bargain and I fail, does that mean there's going to be multiple Kingsguard then? Since it's just.
I mean, it just means that whichever devil's bargain you pick, that's what
Okay.
happens no matter what,
Okay.
regardless of how you roll, whether success or fail.
Okay.
Anybody have any other devil's bargain they want to offer?
I have one. No matter what, we get separated from each other.
I was thinking no matter what, at some point, because of this, is it the mayor or the governor who has the palace? Is it
The governor is it's the governor's keep that you guys were exploring.
Okay. Yeah, so no matter what, at some point the governor is gonna know about Vero's involvement in this. Right? Word is gonna get to the governor that Vero is
Interfering.
Yes.
Okay.
My devil's bargain is Loraire will climb onto your back.
I mean, that's fair. Oh man.
Loraire with 5 ruin.
Oh no.
That's why it's a devil's bargain.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh no. Is this like, do I like? Oh man, will be interfering in the future. That's not. It will if it will. It's a will.
Yeah. So it's a no matter what. Ooh.
Okay, that's just. I feel like that would be. I'll go with the interference of having. Because I don't know, Vero's not going to know how to react to that. That most definitely will interfere in the future for him. So we're going to go with backpack, I guess.
You can go with Loraire's.
So I will take the second light die and hope for the best.
Okay. Alrighty.
The
Yeah.
2 light, 1 dark.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, the good news is I don't get more ruin, but I did not succeed.
Correct. Or you did, but I'm gonna make it worse.
I'm just gonna
Ah,
put it. Loraire could help.
true. Now that Loraire's first of all, tell me how you do the ritual. Tell me how the maze ritual works.
Okay, that's a good question. I think the way it works is Vero has to sneak in to find something. He sees what looks like to be a blacksmith puzzle. He snags that and uses that as a sacrifice for creating the maze, because having a puzzle component, a difficult to solve puzzle as blacksmith puzzles are, becomes the component for creating the maze. And the maze sort of sprouts out from the blacksmith puzzle, which means like there's probably a lot of tendrils that look like they should be plants, but because it's come from something that's made out of metal, it's almost like tendrils of metal that spawn out from it and grow, creating a maze. So imagine like a hedge maze of like corrupted growth.
And Loraire, did you want to help at this point since you're acting as backpack?
I
you
must.
interfere too, but I don't know how you can make it worse.
Oh, I guess I could also.
I'm thinking, well, I mean, like, here's how it's worse. I think what ends up happening is that I think as you're creating this maze, something interferes with your normal ritual and the way it works. And so you feel the metal tendrils of the puzzle drawing you in. This is not supposed to happen. It's supposed to work outward from you. And I think it's actually drawing you in, and Loraire too, if they are going along for the ride, and literally, and you both will disappear and appear somewhere else. So you will be separated from Serge
Yeah,
and
I
Aram.
like Kevin's idea. Sounds good. That sounds good. I like that.
Do you still want to help,
Wave of
Loraire?
tendrils.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Maybe I don't want to help.
You're too busy being the backpack. My God. What does this look like? I mean, or what do you say, like, as you're like, entwining yourself, or like, piggybacking onto Vero as he's doing this?
I'm gonna say I'm helping. And
I'm
then,
gonna assume this happened mid-ritual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, which is possibly why it went wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey,
it's all good.
Let's not blame Loraire.
Right.
Just because
We're not blaming. We're just saying it might be. Who knows? Okay, great.
Things happen.
Things happen. Absolutely. Let me go fool him. Wow, this is going on. Okay.
Yeah.
I will tell you where you. Go ahead.
While the maze is sprouting,
Mhm.
Vero has to concentrate on it to be it, because effectively he has to memorize. He has to hold it in his mind as it's growing and expanding.
Right.
Because once it stops, if there's no way for him to retain that information, and the distraction kept him from keeping it focused in his mind, so it was growing without his perception of how it's growing.
Exactly.
Yeah. And okay. Remember how Loraire has been fighting the urge to jump on Aram's back before? Loraire was preoccupied with the smell, but now that that's gone, fixed, the nose is in the pocket. Loraire is like, oh, like it's back in full force. I must like wrap around someone. And then like Vero's doing something and caught Loraire's attention. So Loraire is like, huh? And like, yeah, it's probably Loraire's fault.
Yeah, I would say so. Um,
What's the meaning of this? Like,
right. I think, yeah, and then like, we switched from
I'm
that.
sorry, but please focus.
I'm switching from that beautiful scene. Holy cow. I think also as we're fading out from that particular scene, I think Loraire, the camera sees that as you're doing this and kind of like almost like entwining with Vero, I think the camera sees that your pupils are now slits. Nobody sees it yet. The camera does, but Vero doesn't.
I'm gonna see it.
Anyway,
No.
flipping over to the other two. All right, Serge, Aram, you are, I guess, here in the blacksmith shop, and then you see Vero trying to do this ritual to create the maze, grabbing the puzzle pieces, and then it seemed to go wrong because, well, Loraire has jumped on board as a passenger, and then they got whisked away by the metal maze. What do you two do? You too will notice that there are small hordes of strange objects here. And yeah, the Kingsguard are attempting to remove these from this place.
Well, I think Aram will. Aram maybe doesn't understand exactly what Vero had been trying to do with that ritual, but it realizes, okay, I don't know what it was. It doesn't seem to be working though, whatever it is. And I think Aram is gonna, step over towards those objects, which I guess also mean towards the King's Guard, right? To kind of get a closer look at what it is that's has been occupying their attention.
Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah. So
if a member of the King's Guard is, going to kind of react in some way, I think Aram has something that he knows he can do.
Okay.
But he'll at least initially just step over there to kind of get close to what it is that they seem to be so interested in.
Yeah, it's kind of dark here still because under cover of darkness they're trying to remove these things. All you can tell right now, because it's so dark, is that they seem to be like box shaped. No, not pine box shaped.
Size wise, are they like you can pick them up?
Like, like say like King's Guard has like, one to each of them, like kind of carried like, in front of them. But you can't quite tell what they are yet.
Okay.
Serge, are you also taking a look?
I mean, I'm trying to get fresh air.
Right.
At least assuming the noxious fumes have not been like dealt with, I'm trying to find a way outside that doesn't involve getting seen by the Kingsguard, but if that's our only option, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, basically the Kingsguard are actually trying to move these things out of the blacksmith's shop. And as they keep opening the door, like fresh air comes in. I mean, you notice as you moved away from the marked door that the smell was starting to dissipate.
Then I guess we gotta go outside. We're gonna head outside, coughing and sputtering.
The King's Guard are going out the only exit that you see. It's either that or going back into the hallway, into the undulating hallway.
Well, that way's got the Inquisitors. I guess I'll go back into the hallway then. If there's no noxious fumes back there, if that's where fresh air is, I'll head back into the hall.
Still seems to be moving. Still seems to be slithering a bit. If you go back into the hallway where you came. Aram, are you still staying in the blacksmith shop to take a look at, well, to try to get a better look at what they have?
Yeah, and I guess I will, and they're taking them and then they're going out the door.
Yeah.
I guess
These are-
I will try to fall in behind them and see what their reaction is.
How conspicuous are you? Are you dressed like a King's Guard? Are you?
No, I don't think I am. I don't think I would. I don't have the uniform.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you just the kind of like approaching like and then just falling in behind one of them?
Yeah, I guess I'm doing my best to find an opportune moment when like one of them is heading out, and I'm just gonna try to step in behind.
Mm-hmm. And I think, you know what? I'm just gonna give you this one. So I think I think as you step in behind, I think, the King's Guard that you're following notices he's the last one in line, and he notices that you're behind him without even looking at you. He says, it's like, pick up one of those things. We got to bring it outside. We got to collections. It's weird. Come on, take one and then we'll bring it outside.
Yeah, so I think I do that. I get the closest box that I can find and fall in behind them.
You will notice that these boxes that they're removing, they're from the blacksmith's shop. They're dozens of iron cages that look like they're stacked outside, and you've picked up one of them. It contains dead, snake-like creatures, the length and width of a human arm. What do they look like to you? And despite their size, how do you know that these are juveniles?
You said that they're dead?
Yep, they're all dead.
So I know that they're juveniles. I think I know that they're juveniles because I see a few of them, and I see that they're all. I mean, their sizes actually vary quite a bit, so that I can see that some of them are young, some of them are bigger. right? So that they're clearly at different stages. Plus, I see that some of them have kind of partly peeled skin, like the snake, right? So that they're obviously in you know, a number of them have that, so that they're obviously in a stage of growth where they're shedding their skin to get bigger.
Do you take any of this with you? And do you steal yourself away from here?
I think I definitely take yeah, what I can. Yes.
What are you specifically taking?
Can I? So these snake-like creatures, can I get them out of the? Like they're in. You said a cage. They're in cages.
Yeah.
Can I get them out of a cage, or do I need to take the cage with me?
I think, well, since they're dead, I don't think anybody's like left a lock on them or anything. I think you
Yeah.
can pretty much reach in and, well,
Yeah.
again, it's this length and width of a human arm is the one that you've got.
Yeah.
Do you take all of it or do you just take?
No, I think I'll try to take all of it.
Okay. Does it have a face? Any discernible features or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think um I think the feature that catches, you know, my attention the most is that it clearly is dead, but when you look at the eye still seems like it's alive. There's like that sense of vitality to the eye, which seems really strange.
Let me head over to Serge. Serge, you make it back into the hallway. Yeah, I think you noticed that the smell, for whatever reason, you don't smell it anymore. And you don't see anybody coming from the hallway door. From the where you came from, like that led to the governor's mansion, governor's keep. Do you still continue onward or do you go back to the blacksmith shop?
Where's everybody else is still in the blacksmith shop?
Well, Loraire and Vero had disappeared into the metal maze, or the tendrils that Vero had created. And Aram is still in the blacksmith shop as far as you know.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and head back towards the governor's keep. If no one's chasing after us, maybe we can peek outside and see what goes on there.
This is just to see where you end up, not a ruin roll yet.
Okay.
Just go ahead and roll me a ruin.
6.
Okay. So sorry, honey. Okay. It's actually perfect that we're here. You open the door, and when you look through it, it looks like it's a cave tunnel, but the stone or the underground tunnel, it's like it seems to shift. It seems to be made of some kind of obsidian carved stone that loses cohesion, it loses solidity, because you see like mist, tendrils of mist start to emanate from this stone. And it's quite dreamlike. Please make me a ruin roll now.
That's another 6.
Okay. Mm. 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 Okay. So you too can make a reduction roll at some point when you act in the forest's interests. You decide how. And do you enter this tunnel?
Yes.
We're gonna end on that because sorry, honey. You enter the tunnel and the tunnel ripples and you hear a great roar. That's where we're going to end for tonight. You have moved, Serge, have moved into ring 4. Everybody else has ended ring 2. Okay. Wow, that was exciting. Okay. So that was part 1. We shall now go into debrief and stars and wishes. So for anybody not quite familiar with this, stars are things that you liked about today's session, gameplay, role play, each other, and wishes are what you want to see for next time. So whoever wants to start. I'm still processing. So I do have stars and wishes of my own, but I'm still processing. So anybody wants to go first, please do.
I mean, star to all the answers, do all the questions at the beginning, because it definitely set a very specific tone. I mean, the questions themselves were good, but also like it's immediately like grotesque and creepy, and I really liked all the details that people came up with.
Yeah, I agree, and I like right the kind of surreal mystery that's going on with all of this, and trying to kind of figure out, you know, I mean, what is behind all right these right? You know, first of all, it just seems like okay, right? The governor doesn't like these spirally things appearing, but then right, you know, there are these kind of nice layers that are kind of opening up in terms of like what exactly it means, and it's you know becoming more and more kind of surreal and kind of cosmic, like what exactly this spiral stuff is all about.
Well, I can say for me, the stars are just how how bizarre everything got almost immediately. Like from people's behavior to what we saw in the rooms. And like we're in the governor's mansion, and then suddenly we're somewhere far away in the middle, what looks to be in the middle of a completely different crime. And then just like this, why is this in the governor's room? How does he not, like, he had people come here to look into this, he had to know something would be found. So who would need a tunnel into the governor's mansion? And like which way is what purpose is it? Is the governor to get out or something to get in at the governor? And it's just, I think the rituals also add that extra layer of creepiness. So, my wish is to, like, I don't know. It's like part of me is just like, my wish is to just wait it out and follow these Kingsguards wherever they're going. I think for Vero, that would be what he wanted to know. He's like, this is going somewhere. So, but also being in a snake esophagus traveling as a teleporter seems super. I don't know if I want to go back in there. I may not have to worry about it because I may get like constricted to death by one of the people in my group before I have to worry about being in that tunnel. So, but yeah, like I think my wish is just to, I don't know, follow one of these many bizarre events. I don't know where they're going, but that's kind of my wish.
I got some stars. I really love seeing the maze ritual. It's a super fun ritual and can be really kind of powerful. And that it like fully reshapes terrain around you, all kinds of craziness, all kinds of zaniness. I loved Agatha rolling with Devil's Bargain to be clingy. That's super fun. Robbie, I loved your answers to the sort of like paint the scene or the scenario questions. Those were all really nice. And we've got 2 people at Ruin 5. That's super fun. And I just jumped a ring, an incursion that deals with transport, just being like, oh yeah, you skip a ring. All right, fun. That's super neat. Wishes. I don't know. I mean, other than like, I want to see Serge get an untimely end. That I want to see all of us get like really fun untimely ends in this one. But that's, general trophy dark things.
General trophy dark things, if there's any such thing. Yeah, stars for Agatha for sure, echoing that whole like just rolling with it and leaning into the strangeness and the horror. I mean, like, you're all about it, Agatha with the Devil's Bargains, and I love that. I absolutely adore that. And then yeah, Robbie, it's like, the descriptions that or the answers that Aram had definitely were a good touch for like, getting into his character a little bit. And it's like, we're going to be delving more into everybody's stuff, like, because I usually incorporate a lot of answers from the first 2 rings into what happens for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Oh my gosh. And then yeah, I mean, Vero just trying to dive in, but then getting himself into trouble. I mean, I've played with you before, Jonn, and I just feel like that's your MO, regardless of what character you play. So, I mean, like, I just like it's a weird star right there. And then Kevin with Serge. I can't wait to delve more into what he finds. Because I mean, again, it's like I love to incorporate everything that people have for their drives, and for the reasons that they're trying to do these things. So yeah, Super Mario themselves into a later level. Yes, indeed. There's only 5 rings in Trophy Dark. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And if you guys decide, you 2 that have the Ruin 5, if you decide to do reduction rolls, some people decide not to, and then just kind of run with whatever you got. What that could mean, though, I mean, and this is a meta thing when I haven't run into it all that often, is that you will have more of a say of what happens to the people that remain. Maybe we'll see how this goes. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh my God. I mean, holy cap. Wishes. So for next time, yeah, to see like what you guys decide to do. Like, will you decide to reduce, or will you, excuse me, run into each other somehow and, end up trying to do contest roles, which are, I don't want to say hilariously fun, but they are fun. So that's a wish for me to see at least like one contest role for next time. And
All right,
just
Jonn,
do you-
that's my wish
Oh,
for us to do
no.
a contest role.
oh no. There's got to be stakes. There's got to be like,
My wish is a
build.
personal attack. Okay.
Oh
Sounds
man.
good. Sounds good to me.
Oh my god.
My wish is for a tussle.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Oh,
one,
man.
one other, one other
thought about
star.
something. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say one other star for me is like I think we were trying to like say, okay, are we staying together? Is it okay like that some people are kind of maybe going different places? And now we have 3 different kind of groups, it
Love
seems,
it.
right? We have the
All
group in the maze, we have who knows where Serge is gone, and then so but I a star for that, like the kind of willingness now to kind of like go in these like separate paths, which is I know some people are like, oh no, how is that going to get managed? But yeah, I think that's fun, right? At this at the stage that we're at, that like, okay, we have the party has separated.
And I love that for you guys. I mean, like, again, well, I mean, it's a star for me that you guys are now separated, because in a weird way, it kind of makes it easier. I run a lot of the betweens. So, I mean, like, I am so totally used to people going off in different directions. And it's hilarious fun for me to figure out how much trouble you get into when you do so. So I can't wait. I'm excited about this.
I just realized we kind of Russian doll, because now Loraire is wrapped around Vero, who has a maze wrapped around us. So this is going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
It's almost like a steel cage match that Vero doesn't know he's in.
Oh, you just gave me a great idea.
Oh no, take that. I didn't say that.
Too bad it's recorded. Oops.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, Aram is safe from the Ruin 5 folks for now. That could change.
For now.
For now. So, yeah, any other wishes or stars you want to mention?
Yeah, I also wanted to give everyone else a star. Everyone that I inflicted Loraire on, like, just a big star to y'all for just rolling with it. I appreciate it.
And we appreciate you for the chaos.
I appreciate you not hugging the rat, though.
Oh yeah, that was hysterically funny in the beginning. I'm just like, why
I
are you having such a problem with this?
That's all my brain would
Oh my
accept, is that it
God.
was rat. Not
Oh my God, that's so funny. A rum, not a rat. So good. So good. Oh my gosh.
At this point, though, I would hug a rat. So
You would. Yes. Yeah,
Fair.
absolutely. But, you got Vero now. So, I mean, like,
Nope. And now we have a week to come up with more traumatizing things to share with each other.
Yes. Yes, you do. Because then I have to come up with some more like fun things to bring back why the hell you actually came here in the first place. And that's my bread and butter. So I can't wait. Yeah, anything else? I mean, like, anything about I mean, just to ask out of a turn for Agatha, who played the play test of this, Robbie, who hasn't played it in a while, and for Jonn, who this is your first experience with Trophy. What do you think so far?
I mean, so far I like it. I didn't realize it was similar to Forged in the Dark. So this is all like with like the dice pools.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, not as many dice that you can build up
Right.
as in Forged in the Dark, but I mean, like, a little similar. Yeah.
With the extra bad die for ruin, that actually was cool. I like that.
Yeah, that is a fun mechanic.
Yeah. Having terrible things happen by committee is I love that. So having that be a feature of the game is really cool.
Highly collaborative, absolutely. I love hearing people's devil's bargains. So
I just hope that something comes up where it was super critical to be able to smell something. Somehow. It was dire that you were able to smell something.
That's true. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
To have that consequence hit.
But
you
yeah.
guys did collect some fun things from the bedroom, so who
Oh yeah,
knows?
that finger candle.
Who knows?
Yeah. In the same pocket as my nose.
Oh my god. Agatha, what did you think? Like from the playtest, you remember, and like how, I mean, I think I was pretty much running it like as straight as
It actually feels
rules.
very similar
Okay.
to me.
Don't think they changed too much.
Yeah, I think I guess in hindsight, it was already a pretty complete game when I played it. So
One of
yeah.
the things that did sort of change, and I know this from when we played it, was that the reduction roll got tweaked a little bit, that it's like no matter what, you will reduce ruin by 1, but the way your roll goes, like depending on if it's I forget what the termage is, but basically if you roll, I think, higher, then that just means that you are going to be discovered. Like one of them is like,
Right.
depending on
Yeah.
how well you roll, it's like it's either going to be like they don't notice that you're doing it, or they do notice that you're betraying them, that your companions betray you, even if you're not near them. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah. I don't remember the details of like how
Right, yeah.
that playtest went.
Mhm.
So but like in terms of general flow
Mhm.
of gameplay, it feels very similar.
Nice. Okay, cool. And Robbie, I mean, like, what do you think since you played last?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting back into I mean, there's a rhythm to this game,
Mhm.
and I think that uh, as as that rhythm gets established, I think people kind of pick up much more. I mean, it moves along then, because like people like are getting ready for their, thinking, okay, what are good devil's bargains and stuff like that. And so, the game does have a kind of deliberate opening, I think, and then it kind of, I think, builds up steam as it goes along, partly just because people are kind of more familiar with, like, those kinds of mechanic elements, right?
Really love the devil's bargains. So
Yeah, and the previous devil's bargains and ideals and consequences, I think will make it easier to come up with future ones. Like definitely like needing to hug people definitely suddenly gives future devil's bargains some makes it easier to come up with new ideas.
oh, absolutely. Compounding? Sure.
Mhm.
Absolutely. No matter what. Kevin, any thoughts?
No, just I think the other new thing added like from early playtesting is the contest role. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that.
Me too.
Because I feel like that was a late entry, if I remember correctly. Because it's
Even
really
if it
fun.
even if it was like already sort of included, I don't think that it was in the same state as it is now.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see at least one of those. So we'll see how you guys play off of each other or against each other next time. My God, you have a whole week to figure it out.
Mhm.
All righty. Yeah, I mean, I had ended early, but I knew how we tend to go about things. So Like we're ending right on time, thank goodness. You guys have a wonderful week. Happy gaming. If I don't see you already for something else. And yeah, I look forward to seeing who gets ruined next time.
All of us.
Again, you have the option of being completely lost to the forest, killed, and surviving, but you cannot survive the forest without being at least a little changed.
Yeah.
So
Being a runaway Kingsguard and a guide, I feel like I have to die. If I get lost, it'll just be too humiliating.
you will be able to do whatever you want by the end when you do your epilogues. So no worries. All right. I can't wait to see how people end. That'll be, that'll
Apparently,
be wonderful.
I'm gonna get Care Bear shared to death.
Only if you lose your contest roll.
Oh, okay. I mean, now
I love that.
conclusion.
It's like, I'm good. I'm here for it. Oh my God. Oh, you guys are great. Okay. So you have
All
a
right.
wonderful week. I will see you next time. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.
You too.